Welcome everyone. I'm trying to do some more work on this one. I'm trying to put some highlights on. I tried to do it with like a knife, individual uh, leaves here, but man, it was taking too long, so I started using a fan brush with just a bit of paint on it, some light color, and I'm trying to get just some individual leaves put, that's all. And we're going to try and make uh, uh, this painting have a little more detail than what I usually put in, so fix any other parts that need to be fixed. I might add a few more trees in here, but we'll see. So this seems to be working for really small, tiny leaves. Seems to be working all right. So I'll continue. I'm working on this tree over here right now. I'm hoping that it looks like actual leaves. I'm going to put another color with that. Let's do a darker color in there next to that. And we'll get some different leaf color in here. You got to be patient because if you press too hard, they're going to look like small leaves like that. Andrew, how's it going? How's it going? I'm just doing highlights on this. This is part 3. I'm trying to make, some of this look like individual leaves here. Really trying to touch very small. I tried to do it with a knife, but man, it would have taken forever. So I figure this fan brush looks pretty good. Make it look like highlights there. It's one thing I don't usually do. I don't take it this far deep. So there's probably a lot of paintings I did where I could probably go back and put these smaller leaves in. I bet it would help the painting out a bit. In fact, I was going to start doing that about a month ago. I was going to go through all the paintings that still need some touch-ups and do some lives on that. You can barely paint? Nah. Can you do, well, maybe you could do stuff like this. I mess around with a lot of different stuff. Check that out. I just put colors and then color with white. I mean, it's not the greatest, but I was testing that out. Abstract art. There's a lot of things you could do. There's an artist that he put like a black, he made a black square, and that was his painting. Sold for $1 million. A black square. Oh, your sketcher. Okay. Well, man, that's great. I wish I could sketch. I mean, my sketches look very amateurish. But once I put some paint on my sketch, then I can kind of make it look a little better. I'll tell you, these trees look a little more, they look a little more thicker by putting that extra light highlight on there. It almost makes them look realistic. Let's see if I can find an old painting and show you what I mean. The difference. Here's a painting. Let's see. Let me just take this down real quick. And we'll do the same thing to these bushes here. We'll see if we can see a difference by adding some smaller highlights in here. On here. I think that works, man. Man, I might have to go back on a bunch of paintings. Imagine YT. How's it going, guys? Thanks for watching. Great work. Bye. See you later. Thanks. In and out. In and out. All right, well, I think it works. I never highlighted that one. Go back to the main picture. This is the one I'm working on. But I have a lot of paintings like that where I never added extra highlights to the trees, so. I kind of want to fix this one here. I want to make it a little more brighter. A little more orangey. So I'm going to have to redo it. The color is like kind of dull, so. I'm going to beef up color just a bit here. Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba. I think that's a little better. Yeah, much better. This is looking a lot better than. How long has? I didn't read it. How long has it taken you to make that paint? This one? This is like the third session, so 2 hours so far. Going on 2 hours and 12 minutes right now. The other part 1 and 2 is on my channel. I can get them done pretty quick. Those clips took me a while back here to figure out. I still gotta do a little work there. I wanted to put some rocks up here, like boulders. But I just haven't got to it yet. Really not much more I want to do with this. I gotta fix these bushes, but I want to start getting some clouds in the sky now. I want to see something here. Alright, we'll see you later. Thanks for watching. You have to go. I hear you. I appreciate you watching. There we go. Those those are simple clouds there. If you have a hard time making clouds, just throw white up there like that. I throw it around the mountain, and it ends up looking like, you know, clouds rolling over the top. So to me that looks pretty good. I never finished the mountain the way I wanted to do it, but I wanted to use a knife up there. All right, well, I kind of like this one now. All right, I'm going to start another painting. I'm going to do a small one. Have you guys seen me do one of the small ones? They're really fun to do. They're 5 by 7 inches. I try and do like a really detailed painting on here, but it's just smaller. When I was out selling Saturday, I sold like 3 of these small ones. What I'm going to do is wet the back. This thing is the canvas is kind of loose, so I want to tighten it up. You just got to kind of wet the back with the wet brush. Or you can just spray it with water. You could also paint it black or something. What it does, it tightens up the canvas. Like a drum. All right. Time for a small one. Everybody left. I think I'm going to try and do my I'm practicing on my ocean scenes. So I'm going to do like some rocks here. I usually put them over here. I'll go on this side this time. Some rocks over here. And I put probably a lighthouse out there. little paintings are kind of fun to do. Thanks for watching, guys. I don't know who's left in here. Hey, Ed's still here. Right on, Ed. Man, I had fun at Lisa's today with that live. I got to play a lot of Beatles songs finally. When me and Lisa first started playing, that's how we learned as many Beatles songs as we possibly could. And before we started venturing out on all the other classic rock songs. So these little small paintings sold pretty good for me on Saturday, so I'm doing a few more here. Especially, you know what was selling good? People wanted paintings with the moon in it for some reason. So luckily, I had a couple paintings that had the moon. These are really fun. You know, they're small, but it kind of like I don't hardly ever use a small filbert brush. It's making me get used to it. I kind of like that look, just like the one, just keep it simple, one brush stroke like that. I wonder if I could do the whole painting like that. The moon is going to be up here somewhere. What's going to be hard, I want to use this brush for the rest of the painting, but I'm not sure if I'm able to do the water splashing over these rocks. Let's see if I can do this here. I like it. Maybe I'll just kind of do the wave like this. Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba. Well, while that's drying, I'll put a lighthouse in there. I'll have to use a small brush for that, no doubt. Looks cool. Guess I'll have to use this small brush for detail work here. Hmm. All right. I'm gonna use the fan brush. It's the only way I really know how to make waves with my fan brush. So. Ba, 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 da, ba, ba. I really like the waves. I mean, I like these rocks. Yeah. You got to kind of let that paint dry underneath before you can do this, your water with the fan brush. Otherwise, it's just going to blend in. It'd be kind of hard to do this with the oil paint. You'd probably have to let that dry for a couple days before you could do this part. I think I put a boat out there on the one. I think I put a sailboat out here somewhere. Singing, that kind of looks like water. I think I'm gonna put a sailboat out there on the choppy water. Uh, Splash some more water down here. I like it. I like it. It's pretty tough. Small painting. Baby, what a big surprise. Right before my very eyes. Whoa. Right before my very eyes. I like these clouds. I'm going to do the same thing up there. Change the light. I think it's going to look better with a bunch of clouds up here. Oh yeah, much better. Much better. Uh-huh, uh-huh. Choppy water. Choppy water. Well, I kind of like that. I'm going to move on to the next painting. I got these two down here. Two more small ones down there to paint. I'm going to put a some kind of bird in here. Maybe he's flying. looking for shelter here. Typical Northwest scene there. Kind of reminds me of Portland a little bit. Portland, northwest. They got a lot of rocky beaches out there. Speaking of beaches, I'll put a little bit of yellow down here for a little yellow ochre. Brownish color. There we go. All right, that one's done. Now I'll try and do a whole mountain scene here. If you just joined in, you see how loose that is? You can either spray it or you can just take a brush and kind of soak it down inside there. It's going to tighten the canvas up quite a bit. I used to paint them black, but if you wet it, it gets really tight. This is well, it's canvas, but it's like cotton cotton material, I think. It's the same kind of stuff I think they use. They call it cotton canvas. Yeah, it's pretty heavy duty stuff. It's not the kind of cotton you would want to make a shirt out of. It's not soft at all. It's pretty stiff. I don't know what they used in the old days. I think they used wood. They painted on panels. Them old masters from like the 1600s. Everything has changed. I mean, they used to have to make their own paint and everything. They were up there grinding their own powders to make paint. we'll just do a simple landscape here. I want to do some greenish blue water though. Not quite, not really green, but I throw a little green in there. There's this cool lake here in Washington State that's turquoise color. That looks pretty cool. Oh, I thought that was purple. It's not. It's like a brownish color. What is that? That looks cool. I'll run some white clouds over that. It'll It must have been brown that I put down there. It was in a small tube. I thought it was purple. I don't know why I'm using a big brush. Go back to my small filbert brush here. That looks cool. I think this one is going to get the moon in there. We're going to put the moon. A big moon. Whoa. See that little moth fly across there? That was cool. Maybe I could get that in on a short there. So I get to, I don't have to work at Michael's tomorrow, but I got this one friend that needs some help with, he's a carpenter, but every once in a while he runs into some plumbing issues, and I got to go over and kind of walk him through. Because he remodels bathrooms. Usually most of it's just they have like old tubs upstairs in these old houses, and the tub usually has to be converted into a shower pan. So the problem is those old tubs only have an 1.5-inch drain, and the shower needs to be a 2-inch drain. So all the plumbing has to be redesigned. And if you've never done plumbing, it's kind of like be like trying to read Egyptian hieroglyphics. Yeah, it intimidates a lot of people. If you've never, a lot of people, they've never even looked underneath their lavy faucet. They don't even know what's underneath there. You can, like if you have a drip, you can go underneath there and turn these angle stops off. If it's like a really bad drip, you can at least shut the water off, and then until you get a plumber over there to fix it. I used to do heating here too, boilers, and I would try and talk to the homeowner on the phone, and they'd call and say, my heat's not working. I'm like, oh, what kind of heat do you have? They didn't even know they had a boiler in the basement. They just knew they had a thermostat, and they turned it on, it wasn't working anymore. That's all they knew. So I'd go over there kind of not knowing, if they had a furnace or a boiler. It's kind of hard to blend these small paintings. I bet you know what's going to happen next. All right on, yeah. That's cool. Fixing the toilet's not that easy. There's a lot of parts inside that toilet. You got the flapper, you got fill valve, you got the handle, the fill tube. So there's a lot of things that can go wrong with the toilet. This is pretty good here. I like how it's so dark. It's a dark scene there. Pretty good. And I like how the water is kind of very bluish. I don't want to cover the water. I want to leave that part of the water in there. Oh yeah, there's always great videos on YouTube on how to fix it. Fix it yourself. Since you just popped in, Ruben, I did a little more work on this painting. I put more highlights on the trees up there, you see. I added more light. I fixed that tree in the middle, made it more orange. I put more highlights on the trees. Still not done though, man. I gave up on it. I'm like, I want to do some small paintings. These small ones are pretty fun, actually. I'm just going to put a little bit of highlights on the evergreen tree. Just on the very edge. Because I want it to be dark. That looks good. That's enough. Not bad for a 5x7, huh? I think I can put the microphone in now. It's almost done. I just got to put a little waves in the water. And that'll be it. I got one more small one to do. All right, I'll be here. I really like this one. It looks like an oil painting to me. It really does. For a small painting, I was selling those for $15 on Saturday. I mean, they don't take long to paint. Like this took 15 minutes. But people, man, yeah, they like these small ones. I have a hard time selling the 16 by 20. But I sold a couple of the bigger ones. Let's try one maybe sideways. Turn it horizontal. Maybe I could do like a big Mount Rainier or something in there. I like the ocean scene here. That looks pretty cool. I didn't put a boat in there because if the boat doesn't look like the rest of the style, it just doesn't fit in there. I'm just not comfortable with putting like a sailboat in there yet. All right, anybody want have an idea for this one? I could do a beach down here. Could do mountains in the back. Kind of like this one with water. You know what? Maybe I'll do another flower pot with those are really, that one sold too. I did like a flower pot. Oh man, that one took forever too. Let's try some abstract flowers. I got just enough red here to do like some roses, I guess. We'll do like some flowers. Okay. Alright, that's looking pretty good. I think what I'll do is I'll put some kind of tie around the bottom. Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba-ba. I think I'm going to do a golden background. Maybe light on this side and a brown on the other side. And I'll probably bring it down here. And do this in a solid color on both sides. So I have to make brown. No, I got brown here. I forgot. I thought it was purple. I just don't know what color. I get my wheel out, my color wheel. We'll see what color goes with gold and brown here. It's more orange, huh? Brown. This are the colors here. So blue. Is that right? Tetrad. It's also saying green, red, violet. Not sure how this thing. Alright, we're going to use purple down there. Ba-da-ba-ba. I think I'm going to go with the light green instead. The pastel green. All right, that's going to have to work. Looking good. So I think I'm going to go with a simple design in the background today. All right, good design I can do from here. Triangles. Is that a triangle? Yeah, those are triangles. Elongated. I don't know why I make an issue out of these triangles. They're should take long. I did that one. Oh man, I put a design. I found like a wallpaper from the 70s. I think I spent an hour putting a design on the other flowers I did. It took like an hour for me to do just the background. I didn't want to sell that thing for $15, man, because I put a lot of time in that thing. I gotta be careful. All right. There's my design. Singing I can't wait. Do I have any white left? I got yellow. Very cool. Did it do? Did it do? Looks more wallpaper to me. Yeah, I listened to our live already. Looks pretty cool for a simple painting. I guess. Yeah, we'll put the light on the right side. You're right. The question now is, should I fill that light in around the flowers? That's the question. That's right. It is up to the viewer. That's how I sold one Saturday. The lady thought the tree looked like a bird, so she bought it. Just saw a bird in the leaves. Yeah, she was so happy that she saw a bird in there. about a month ago, I wouldn't have been able to do this. All right, well, I got to pick a design down here. I think it's just going to go. That looks cool. I think I'm going to do just square boxes down here. Like on an angle though. Singing I can't wait. Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba. A cheap camera. Oh, is it like a Kodak camera maybe? I think I know what you're talking about. kind of like this, but I want to make a, I think I'm going to put a flower pot in there. I think it'll look better with the, like a flower pot here. I gotta redo all the leaves. There we go. I like those flowers. I gotta let this dry before I can put a flower pot on there. Check out these other ones, how cool they're looking. Nighttime scene there. We got clouds. We got a lighthouse back there. Some waves. Rocks. What time is it? 8:30. Let's try a white flower pot. I've never done one white. It won't stay white though, because that's still wet. Alright, it's going to turn green. It'll be a green flower pot. On a table. That looks cool. Something different. I kind of like that. Singing, I can't wait. Annoying question. That looks cool. All right. I'm going to turn it into a glass vase here. Ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba, ba-da-ba-ba-ba. All right. I don't think I need to spend any more time on this thing. You try this brown though. I've got like so much paint on there. It's almost like I'm dealing with oil paint or something. All right, there we go. There's the three. I got all three of them done. Got flowers there. We got a mount, the moon, one tree, and got a water scene there. And I'm going to bed, guys. Thanks for watching, everyone. Those are really small, 5x7s. Good night, everyone. See you, Ruben. Ed, we'll see you if you're still in there. Yep. Have a good night, guys.